Joining us here at 6 a.m. streaming now on KARE 11 Plus. I'm Jason Hackett, and we are following breaking news just into the newsroom. Senator Amy Klobuchar has announced her run for governor seconds ago. We just checked her X page. Her bio says U.S. Senator from Minnesota, candidate for governor. We're going to have more on that story here in just a couple of minutes. But first, let's get to John in the backyard for a look at our forecast. Cold, calm, and quiet, John.
Yes, it is very cold out here. The one positive this morning, the wind is not howling, so the wind chill isn't super bad, right? We're not looking at wind chills at 30, 40 below this morning. Now, the temperatures are low. There's no way Laverne's at 30. Come on. -8 at Marshall, -8 in Jackson, -17 in Bemidji. It certainly feel nice, but no, I don't think that's real. Temperatures are cold. This morning, we know it's a little bit colder because we're closer to the high. The winds are light. As we go into the afternoon, 2 to 8, it's going to be a cold day. It's going to be a cold, sunny day. You know what this reminds me of? Every day this week. Tomorrow is going to be the exact same. This high has been slowly working its way through. Now, eventually it'll get through, and then by Saturday we'll warm up. Here's what it looks like today. You'll see temperatures hanging around 7, 8. It is going to be a cold one. And we are not expecting any really cloud cover. We're not expecting any snow, but that will change. We'll time out some snow chances in your forecast coming up. Cece?
Good morning. This will be another quiet day out on the roads here. This is a live look in St. Paul. A few people getting out there before 6:30, but again, another quiet one. Not seeing any crashes here to slow down your routes. I'll let you know if that changes this morning.
All right, Cece, thank you very much. Back to that breaking news we're following here at 6 a.m. In the last few minutes, Senator Amy Klobuchar announced her run for Minnesota governor. She just posted this video on her social media pages. Klobuchar enters the race following the exit of incumbent DFL Governor Tim Walz. He faced, of course, mounting pressure surrounding his administration's handling of fraud in the state, dropping his bid for a historic third term. She'll go up against several high-profile Republican candidates, including House Speaker Lisa Demuth and State Representative Kristen Robbins, among others. Also breaking this hour, the mother of the 7-year-old child abducted in Zimmerman last week is breaking her silence. In a statement shared with KARE 11 minutes ago from the family's lawyer, she wrote, quote, "I am beyond grateful and incredibly proud of law enforcement and everyone in the community who made our little girl a priority and helped bring her home." She said, as we focus on healing and recovery, we're grateful to have the support to help us guide through what comes next. A 29-year-old Joseph Bragg was charged with felony kidnapping and felony sexual conduct. Investigators say Bragg is accused of taking the 7-year-old to a hotel room before he was found more than 130 miles away from the girl's home. The family's lawyer wrote, quote, "The tenacious work of law enforcement led to the capture of this monster." Well, in just 1 hour, we're going to hear from the new leader of federal immigration operations here in Minnesota for the first time, Border Czar Tom Homan. Audrey Russo is live at the Whipple building with the details here. Audrey.
Yeah, a lot has really changed since Tom Homan took over leadership of the ICE operations in the Twin Cities just days ago. Now, it's not to say that all of the changes were necessarily driven by him, but they do give us some indication of what Homan could talk about at his first press conference this morning at the Whipple building behind me, where you see things are starting to hum to life. Now, this week, 2 federal judges issued setbacks to the feds. One order temporarily bans new arrests of people who have applied for asylum and are awaiting rulings. The judge also requires Homeland Security to release anyone in that category who's currently in their custody. Now, the second blow came from a different federal judge who accused ICE of disobeying nearly 100 court orders in January alone. Likely more, to quote from the filing, than some federal agencies have violated in their entire existence. Now, outside of the court setting, we've also learned that ICE agents have received some new guidance not to engage with what a top official calls agitators. We also know that the officers involved in the Alex Preddy shooting have been placed on leave. So again, this press conference with Tom Homan, his first one where we hear from him publicly, will begin at 7 o'clock. We're going to bring the entire press conference to you on KARE 11 Plus. Again, that starts sometime after 7 o'clock. Back to you.
We will be following that one very, very closely. Audrey, thank you very much. And in just hours here, more than 50 lawmakers from 15 states will be at the state capitol for a day of solidarity. Megan McPherson is there now with a preview. Good morning, Megan.
Yeah, good morning. Those lawmakers will be meeting here at the Minnesota State Capitol today to form what they are calling a multi-state alliance to protect communities and demand accountability from the Department of Homeland Security amid increased federal immigration operations here in our state over the last several weeks. Of course, we know this also comes in the wake of the fatal shootings of both Renee Good and Alex Preddy, incidents that have intensified protests, political backlash, and calls for investigations into federal law enforcement tactics. This Day of Solidarity will include a press conference at the Capitol, which is scheduled for 2 o'clock this afternoon. That press conference will come after a Minnesota State Senate hearing on the impacts of Operation Metro Surge. Here's a message from a Rhode Island senator as she made her way to Minnesota.
Minnesota is a testing ground for the federal regime, and it's part of a national project to suppress the power of the people. And again, not while I have anything to say about it. So state legislators are standing together in solidarity to reject these tactics, to demand accountability, and to keep our communities safe.
The lawmakers who will be in attendance today have also said that they plan to visit neighborhoods, businesses, and schools that have been impacted by events in recent weeks. So far, I've checked throughout the morning. I have not seen any reaction or response to today's events from the White House or Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Back to you.
Megan, thank you very much. We are live in D.C. right now with less than 48 hours until a deadline to avoid a partial government shutdown. Right now, the main sticking point is funding for the Department of Homeland Security. Today, Senate Republican leaders are planning to hold a key procedural vote on DHS funding measures. We're learning the White House is moving closer to Democrats' demands to split funding for DHS from the larger funding package. A notable change in tone from the Trump administration over the past couple of days comes as polling shows approval ratings for the president on immigration are the lowest they've been since his return to the White House. A poll published by Reuters and Ipsos reveals most Americans think the ICE crackdown has gone too far. Brian McClung, a political analyst, says while the majority of Americans who voted for Trump are in favor of a strong southern border and deporting people who have committed violent crimes, they do not support such aggressive tactics.
You could enforce all of the immigration laws on the books without doing it the way ICE and the Border Patrol have done it. And I think that's what Americans are responding to. They're seeing the people of Minnesota just under siege and imagining that could happen in their hometown next.
With the midterm election still 10 months away and the governor's seat up for grabs, McClung says Republicans will have to shift focus onto issues like fraud to try to regain the public's trust. Time now 6:08. Parents, take a look at this recall alert this morning. Baby food manufacturer Gerber has issued a recall of some of its arrowroot biscuits for possibly containing pieces of soft plastic and paper. Impacted products have a best buy date between October and December of 2026. Gerber says they are no longer working with the flour supplier that first initiated the recall. The Minnesota Frost are heading into the Olympic break with a major win, 4-1 over Vancouver at Grand Casino Arena last night. 8 of their players are flying out this morning for the Olympics. We met up with them yesterday to see how they're feeling. Here's Frost captain Kelly Panic.
I'm excited just to kind of get, I think, with the team, and it's something that I feel like, been working for the last 4 years, and to be able to get with the group again and kind of get refocused together is really, like, that's some of the best parts of it is doing this with your team. I think that's a big reason why I enjoy playing hockey too, is to be, with your teammates, going through the ups and the downs of the tournament and the event, and just making all those memories together.
So Alicia is also getting ready to fly out tomorrow morning. Coming up at 6:15, we're going to have an update from her as she packs and prepares for the big trip. I know, John, you and I aren't the most responsible in terms of packing and all that stuff. I probably would have not started packing until later this evening if I was leaving tomorrow. That's just how I am. I'm a last-minute packer when it comes to trips. I don't pack.
You think I'm a person who packs early?
No, neither of us are. We're just both irresponsible.
A lot of times.